Blackstone presents Saxons vs. Vikings, Alfred the Great and England in the Dark Ages by Ed West. This book is read by Stephen Crossley. Introduction. The Vikings first set foot in England in the year 787, near Portland on the south coast, in what was then the Kingdom of Wessex. As they came ashore, a local official called Bodiherd walked up to their leader and explained that under government regulations they had to pay docking duties. The chief Viking put an axe through his head. Or, as the Anglo-Saxon Chronicle reported, the reeve rode thither and tried to compel them to go to the royal manor, for he did not know what they were, and then they slew him. Community relations were off to a tricky start. It was the first of many such cultural misunderstandings. 6 years later, the Vikings attacked the holy island of Lindisfarne in the northern kingdom of Northumbria, killing a number of monks and taking the others off to a presumably grim life of slavery. The Lindisfarne massacre took place on June the 8th, 793, the feast day of Medar, patron saint of toothaches and the weather, and followed some bad omens of comets, whirlwinds, and fiery dragons seen in the sky. It was said in Europe that bad weather on St. Medar's Day would result in weeks of the same, so it was considered a terrible omen for the heathens to attack. Worse still, earlier in 793, people in York had seen blood dripping from the roof of St. Peter's Church. The Portland Reeve and his new Viking friends, who were probably from Horthaland or Hardangerford in Norway, would have been able to understand each other, because the Anglo-Saxons were themselves pagan invaders from Scandinavia only 3.5 centuries earlier, and the native Britons had then viewed their arrival with a similar lack of enthusiasm. Although the Vikings soon disappeared from the coast of England for a few decades, the raiders returned in the 830s, and the number of attacks increased as the 9th century dragged on, so that by the year 871, 3 of England's 4 kingdoms had been conquered. The last, Wessex, was poised to collapse as large Danish armies overwhelmed far smaller and less organized groups of natives. It was at this point that fate pushed forward a man who would shape an entire nation's history. England may have never come to exist were it not for this one man, and it is with good reason that Alfred is the only English king to be known as the Great. He fought off the Danes.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?